People who take massive war crime level dumps in public bathrooms but don't flush. Why?
I did this once because I had no choice. I had to be somewhere early for work that was 1.5 hours away. So I'm driving this whole time, before sunrise, drinking coffee, a little nervous for this work thing, and now I have to shit bad. I find a random Denny's and run straight to the bathroom. There's only one stall. I lock the door and turn to find someone clogged the entire bowl with paper and gaskets. I proceed to push out this ridiculous soft-serve mountain on top of the soggy paper platform. Like a McDonald's ice cream cone, but shit. The entire pile is above water. I had to hover and wipe just to avoid touching it. I had no choice but to top it off with a blanket of shitty paper. By the time I'm done, the summit is a good 3 inches above seat level. I could push that flusher 100 times and the whole structure wouldn't budge. Absolutely shameful. If anyone here is a Denny's employee in Northridge, California that had to deal with this, I'm sorry.
Used to work in a small office with 2 separate bathrooms, one on either side of our office space. Each was a tiny room with a toilet and a sink. There was a guy who without fail, about an hour or 2 after lunch, would decimate one. Crime scene level mess, with the odor as well, and that odor would waft outward to the nearest cubicle residents, who complained daily. He never flushed, and his excuse was that he'd read how toilets create an aerosol effect when they're flushed, which sends a cloud of mist into the air, and he refused to endure that because who knows who else used that toilet. Which meant someone else got the honor of being sprayed with his leavings. Boss told him he had 2 choices, flush and spray Lysol generously, which truly does little to abate the stench, or use the facilities somewhere else. I'm sorry to say he chose to go to the nearest fast food place instead. To those valiant McDonald's employees, I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that.
As a janitor, I'd like to know the answer to this as well. Also, why poop in the urinal?
For me, I get confused when there's no paper, and no way in hell they had a ghosty edit. I'm guessing there are several names for it. I've always heard them referred to as a ghosty though.
I believe it's called the fight or flight response.
What if it's so large it doesn't flush?
Can't flush it if it's on the floor now, can I?
Well, having had the office by the bathrooms, I can probably tell you. Mostly they just don't know that it didn't go down. Epic-filled bowls take more than one flush, and some people's mothers didn't raise them to check their flush. They just get up, hit the lever, hopefully with their hands, and leave. Other people clog the toilet. In my case we had a plunger, but many bathrooms just don't for some ungodly reason. And even in our case, many people just leave because they don't know how / don't want to deal with a clogged toilet. Again, I blame bad parenting, probably just didn't get enough hugs as a child. Oh, and there were a few people that put fucking paper towel in the toilet. Those are the cat stranglers, you really have to watch out for them.
Some people like to show off.
What about the people that have sticky poop where no matter how many times you flush it doesn't dislodge, and you have to use another bowl?
Plugging it up would be worse, let's let it soak for a while then try.
Probably the most valid question I've come across on this page yet. Working in construction and seeing some of these toilets, I need to know.
One time I was in a really crowded airport bathroom and had to pee after this long flight. I ran into the bathroom and every stall had a long line coming out of it except for one stall. I took my chances and chose the stall without a line. There was a shit mess everywhere. I really had to pee, so I aimed where the toilet was hiding underneath all the poop. As I'm peeing, a line starts to form outside the stall because the next people in line now think the toilet is usable. I start freaking out because they are going to think I'm the one who left all the poop. I finished peeing, opened the door and shouted I didn't do that. It was like that when I got here. I heard the next guy in line start swearing when he saw what was in the stall. I walked away with the idea that at least it's an airport states away from where I live and hopefully nobody will ever recognize me.
When my mom was a custodian, she once found a douche in the toilet that she literally had to cut into pieces with a knife in order to get it to flush. It was horrifying.
Forgot my poop knife.
In the only time I have done this in public, it's due to the toilet not flushing or having toilet paper. I ended up hobbling over to another stall to wipe my ass. As I was doing so, a few guys come in, one heads to the stall that I just designated, and blurts out, "Wow, someone just took a wicked shit in here." I quietly grinned.
And just like that I read it again.
Disclaimer asterisk, this is the story about my war crime shit. I was pooping in a stall at Union Station in Los Angeles. It was one of those legs to the wall, I can feel the separate layers within my intestines all being vacated type shits. It was totally thorough. I'm in a stall near the entrance to the public restroom. I can hear the footsteps and the comments of everyone as they enter. A boy and his father walk in. "It smells like poopy in here, daddy," or something along those lines. A few moments later a old voice yells from a stall to my left, "Goddamn. Prison rules, motherfucker, give us a courtesy flush on that shit." At this point I'm trying not to laugh. This shit has been a non-stop experience. My anus is open, and I'm like a soft-serve ice cream machine down there, man. When it's time to wipe I barely have enough room to drop in the TP. I left and never looked back.
Sometimes the toilet doesn't flush. It's not like I can take it back out.
On the poop topic, you always wonder who the fuck poops in urinals, and I finally met one. In a Thai club full of white people with varying levels of food poisoning, there was only one toilet. While queuing up, one really ordinary guy in his 20s just said, "Dude, why are you lining up? I just took a shit in the urinals, it's all good." And on that day I learned urinal poppers are just like us.
The magical poop fairy might give the next person a quarter, so I'm just being nice.
War crime level. LOL.
I've only done this once. Basically, I had been on the road for work all day and stopped at a Chipotle to get some food in me. Naturally I have to take a growler right after eating, so I go in the bathroom to blow it out. About 5 minutes in, this kid starts banging on the door to use the bathroom while I'm trying to handle my business. I told him it was occupied, but this crotch fruit wouldn't give up. He had this high-pitched voice and was telling me to hurry up and just wouldn't leave me alone. I decide if he wants on as fast as possible I could get him in about 3 seconds earlier if I don't flush, so I leave the war crime behind. When I walked out I couldn't help but give him a smirk as he said, "Finally." This was in the middle of Missouri and his dad probably looked like Seabase, so I was already halfway out the door when I heard the kid yell, "Are you serious?"